What's good, folks? It's Warframe here with a new Warframe video, coming at you with a Steel Essence guide. Now, this guide will help you understand what's best for your Steel Essence, how to farm it, and how to spend it efficiently. Steel Essence is a resource and currency. You get this from doing Steel Path. Upon completing your star chart nodes in Steel Path will reward you with Steel Essence. And once you do that, you will unlock Steel Path incursions. These are Steel Path dailies where you can earn even more Steel Essence. And on top of that, you will encounter these special enemy units called Acolytes. By defeating Acolytes, they will drop you with Gun Arcanes and Steel Essence. The Steel Essence amount that you get is affected by your resource booster. So yes, if you do have a resource booster from a MR30 Blessing or resource booster from the market, that can be buffed even further with a Smeeta KUVA Charm buff, if you do happen to get it. Now, with the new system, you do need Steel Essence to unlock your arcane slot on your weapons. Not all weapons need arcane slots. As a regular casual player, all you need is to unlock the arcane slots of your top 10 weapons. The weapons that you enjoy to use. Or if you hear about a weapon that does a lot of damage and works well for your build, then yes, unlock the arcane slot for that. These gun arcanes allow versatility in modding, because all they do is give you a base damage multiplier upon doing a certain action and some utility, and that's only at max rank. This flexibility in modding is more suited towards Steel Path activities. For example, if you were to do an EIDOLON hunt, you don't necessarily need a gun arcane, because the build here is literally all you need. You do need your base damage and sprint speed because you need to be fast. You do need your multi-shot utility. But the only reason I have this here is because of the final rank. It gives me additional reload speed and ammo maximum, so I can get to shoot more and reload faster. Once you've gained some Steel Essence, you want to use them. You want to spend them. How do I actually spend them? Well, you can come here to your syndicates, go to the last tab, click on Conclave, and visit Conclave. Come over here to Teshin, and you will have two options. Of course, you're going to be picking Steel Path Honors. Now, there's a lot of stuff that you can buy. Now, you'll be tempted to buy a few things here. If you want the cosmetics, go for it. People enjoy their fashion. Veiled Ribbon Sliffers are for those Copium Andes. This is the biggest waste of Steel Essence. Don't bother with this. Literally just complete your ribbon. It's way better than wasting 20 Steel Essence just for this. Glyphs, not worth it. Not worth it unless you have an abundance, up to you. But the most important thing for you to get is your primary and secondary arcane adapters. They cost 15 Steel Essence each. Now, the big thing here to use your Steel Essence on is the relic packs. Now, some of you be wondering, why the relic packs? Whenever a new prime gets released, how do you think those people get those relics right away and farm the sets within an hour? It's because of these relic packs. Every new prime frame release comes with its own 2 weapons or sentinel, whatever, and all of those relics are in the global loot pool. And that loot pool can be easily farmed with Steel Essence. So what I'm saying is, farm your Steel Essence 2 weeks, at least 2 weeks before the new prime release, and then when it's released, come here and buy all the relics. You can literally get the entire relic pool for the new primes easily with one click. And then you can go on about and farm the new Prime Warframe. You can get the new Prime set and sell it for plat. People say, oh, you can't get plat from Steel Essence. Yes, you can. Relic packs. Get the primes, sell them really quickly so you can earn that crazy first day prime set plat and then farm it down the line. Is the KUVA worth it? If you want to, yes, you can. There are strats to farm KUVA by doing Steel Path KUVA Survival, where you can get Acolytes to get the Steel Essence and you can siphon the KUVA. So it's 2 birds with 1 stone. There is that strat, yes, if you do need KUVA real badly. But right now, I would say the best way for KUVA is to do arbitrations. Gather up those Vitus Essence and buy your KUVA from there. Because right now, you're better off getting your Steel Essence for your weapon, arcanes, and the relic packs. And of course, if you want to look good, go for it. Now, how to optimize that Steel Essence farm? Number 1, get yourself a resource booster. 30-day, 7-day, whatever you want. And on top of that, grab yourself a Smeeta KUVA. And then a frame and loadout that will help you farm in Steel Path. There are a bunch of Steel Path survival builds out there. I do have a video with top 10 builds to cheese Steel Path. If you want, you can also go check that out. But I'll show you some pretty easy brain dead entry level builds. Now, for those who have Valkyr and Valkyr Prime, here's a very simple build. And you don't even need Prime Surefooted. I know Prime Surefooted is so good when used with a KUVA Brahma or any AoE weapon that will stagger or knock you back. With this Valkyr build, there's going to be 2 other builds I will show you, and all of them will use the same Helminth ability, which is Silence from Banshee. Banshee is easily acquired by joining a clan. Buy the blueprint, crafter. Easy as that. Shove her to the Helminth, and now you have Silence. Why is Silence so important? Silence literally silences enemies. If you played any MOBAs or MMOs, Silence literally disables your opponent's ability to cast spells. And in Warframe's case, Silence disables enemies to use their special abilities. And this also works for Acolytes. Acolytes like Malice aren't able to cast that mag bubble on you so you can kill yourself. Violence cannot disable your Warframe's abilities or stop you from going into your operator. So Silence literally silences your enemies. So this is why we're going to be using this ability on these 3 builds. Now, why Valkyr is more of an entry level build for farming Steel Essence? Because it doesn't require that much investment. Now, if you're going to say, oh, but Forma, nah, you're going to be using Forma regardless. You're in Steel Path now. Build efficiently. Stop being lazy. Valkyr's main damage comes from her Hysteria and the use of her claws, her talons. Alright, let's take a look at the Valkyr loadout. In the aura, I have Steel Charge. This gives me melee damage. This is a base damage multiplier for your melee, which will affect her talons. And on top of that, Steel Charge does give me increased mod capacity. This will be useful for a lot of average players. We're going to pair up Steel Charge with Arcane Fury. Now, this Arcane will give me more melee base damage multiplier when I crit. And Valkyr is going to be critting 100% of the time. Some of you may be asking, why not run Coaction Drift with Steel Charge? You'll be getting a larger increase by adding Power Strength rather than Coaction Drift for this loadout, because Power Strength also gives you more melee base damage multiplier on your talons. And the Power Strength here is at 214%, which affects, of course, as I said, your 4th ability, and will give you more attack speed and more armor on Warcry. And to maintain the uptime of Warcry, we do need duration and the augment Eternal War. This way we get that consistent, permanent, in this case, melee attack speed when we kill enemies. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing. As you see here, I do have Narrow-Minded and Stretch, because the sweet spot for Silence is 15.8 meters or base range at 20 meters. As you can see, we have exactly 15.8 meters, and this is with a max rank Narrow-Minded and a max rank Stretch. Our Silence will have 51 seconds, which is an amazing uptime. And having all that duration does decrease the drain per second. And I also have Prime Flow for the large energy pool and a max rank Streamline for the extra efficiency. Rolling Guard is very useful when you're getting in and out of Hysteria, because you do not want to be in Hysteria for that long. The longer you are in Hysteria, the more energy you drain. So around 4 minutes, reset Hysteria and go back in. Energize is, of course, the most expensive thing on this build. The main thing about Warframe is if you don't have it, get it, because you will need it. And now, since we're using our talons most of the time, are the weapons necessary? Yes and no, because we're not going to be using our guns, but we're going to be using them as a utility. All you have to do is put the Dexterity Arcane on both primary and secondary. So get a weapon that you enjoy, that you want to be using most of the time, but hook it up with Dexterity. This will give you that combo duration, and both the Dexterity Arcanes stack. So that makes it amazing, and also more flexible, because then you can run whatever focus school you want, and you don't have to worry about running Narrowmon to maintain your combo, or even modding for combo duration on your talents, because it's all about your damage. The talents are very straightforward. You do have my base damage, and of course more base damage is coming from Power Strength, Sacrificial Steel for that crit chance, Reach because I want to be reaching out and hitting those enemies. Her range is not affected by the Warframe's range, but the melee range. Corrosive corrosive because we're dealing with mostly armored units, and the Acolytes take more damage from corrosive since they have ferrite armor. You can go with Prime Fury or Berserker's Fury, up to you. Berserker's Fury will be even better because you get a lot more attack speed. Organ Shatter and Gladiator Might to give you that crit damage. For consistent red crits, you can get any melee you want and equip it with the 3 Gladiator mods. I say any melee, but you do have to watch out for combo pausing melees like the Tenet weapons and Zorus, because if you do build up combos on those weapons, it messes up the Gladiator set bonus. So just take the melee and mod it like so. The 3 Gladiator mods, Might, Vice, and Rush. These are just here for the set bonus. That's it, literally. Currently, since it's still bugged, you can equip the Nira mods. You can have this on the Warframe and any whip, because this is a whip mod. As you can see here, it says increase damage from slam attacks by 100%, but this gives you 100% base damage multiplier on your Exalted weapons. I don't know how it's coded, but yeah, it's free damage. Use it until they fix it. And the reason I'm using Vazarin is because to instantly revive my pet. The pet's gonna be Smeeta, so it doesn't have infinite lives. With the Vazarin node, you have Mending Soul. This gives you passive 4 revives on your Warframe and Operator. And the Smeeta build is this, pretty straightforward. Main thing that you need is Charm, Medi-Pet Kit, Tech Enhance, and Tech Assault. Those are the 4 main mods that you need. Tech Enhance will give you 30 additional seconds. Alright, here we are on the second entry-level build, which is using Rhino. Rhino has amazing ways to help you survive and do more damage. For those who don't have Prime Sure-Footed, rejoice because of Iron Skin. Iron Skin will give you status immunity, and of course prevent you from taking damage. So there is one caveat. Upon casting Roar, you'll have that 3 seconds of invulnerability, but you will still be susceptible to status effects, such as getting knocked down, knocked back. Let me demonstrate. Iron Skin, still getting staggered, but after that 3 seconds, we're all good. So just make sure when you cast your Iron Skin, just shoot off slightly into the distance and not at your feet. You can circumvent this pretty easily by using Rolling Guard, casting, boom, and you're good to go. Up to you and up to your playstyle. Let's take a look at the build. In the aura, I have Growing Power. This gives me 25% power strength when proccing a status effect on a target. And this is going to add up to our 238%, which we get from Power Drift, Transient Fortitude, Armor Intensify, and Augur Secrets. What is all this power strength going to do? It's going to give me more HP with Iron Skin and more damage with Roar. Roar is a universal damage multiplier. It affects you and allies. And it also works as a universal faction damage mod, pretty much multiplying our damage on the initial hit and double dipping with damage over time effects like bleeds, toxin, whatever. With this much duration, I get 38 seconds on both Roar and Silence. Iron Shrapnel is there to help me recast Iron Skin, because apparently this is not part of his kit, because the ability to recast Iron Skin needs to have an augment and natural talent to improve the animation. Energize for that energy income, and acceleration for that fire rate when we crit, which we'll be doing 100% of the time. Now, our main damage source is going to come from the KUVA Brahma. Highly suggest to get you a Toxin KUVA Brahma, which will give you more versatility in modding. But in this case, I went full on corrosive. Why? It's because we're facing Acolytes. We're farming Steel Essence. As you can see here, we do not have Serration or Heavy Caliber. Why is that? Because all of our base damage is coming from the Arcane. This is Primary Merciless. It gives you 360% base damage multiplier when you get 12 kills. If you combine Serration and Heavy Caliber, you only get 330%, but using up 2 mod slots. So with 1 Arcane, frees up 2 mod slots for you. That's why farming your Steel Essence is really important to get these Arcanes. Okay, now that we have our base damage, we're gonna put crit chance, crit damage. We're over 100% crit chance, and we're gonna go a bit extra thanks to Vigilante Supplies. Vigilante Supplies not only gives us ammo mutation, but allows us to hit an extra crit tier. Full on corrosive, fire rate, because we have to shoot fast and move fast. Prime Firestorm for that increase in blast radius. If you do not have this, use the regular version. It's still better. And Galvanized Chamber for that multi-shot increase. If you do not have Galvanized Chamber, you can substitute this with Split Chamber and a Vigilante Armament. This is why I suggested Toxin in your Brahma, because all you can do is just replace a mod, but you still have corrosive. And now the odd mod here is hunter munitions. Why do we use hunter munitions on a corrosive build? This is to help me clear the stragglers. This is an AoE ad clearing build and for Acolyte slaying. Hunter munitions will have a 30% chance to proc bleeds when we crit, and we're going to be critting 100% of the time, and it's AoE, so we're going to be hitting a lot of enemies. So let me demonstrate this. Shoot into the crowd of enemies, and as you can see, we're killing them fairly quickly. And that's with corrosive and hunter munitions. But we can multiply our damage even more by using roar. Let me get a stats effect proc, and we have growing power. That means we have more roar. And with that one hit, look at that. Even more damage. As I said before, roar is a universal damage multiplier and works like a faction damage multiplier, multiplying our initial hits and double dipping with damage over time, status effects, and in this case, it's bleeds. Now, there are 3 amazing maps that you can use to farm your Steel Essence. Ani in the Void, Ophelia in Uranus, and Titan on Saturn. Ani is a great place because you'll have fodder enemies, no lethal fires, or bombards. Very, very cheesy place to go. It's a survival. You can easily earn your control modules, ferrite, argon crystals, and your Steel Essence. Ophelia is also another great place. Not only are there easy to kill enemies, but you can also earn tellurium and polymer bundles. And finally, Titan on Saturn. Great place to get nanospores, plastids, and detonite ampules. Alright folks, that has been it from me. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you learned something from this video. And if you did, feel free to leave a like, share, and subscribe for more Warframe content, streams, and so much more. Do refer to the description. And as always, peace. See you in the next one.